Yeah. I'll select play. So this is part of the Feel Good Festival online festival. And what we're going to do in the next sort of hour is a facial massage. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about the company that I work with called Neil's Yard Remedies. Some of you may know it already, some of you may not. Part of our remit is kind of to introduce it to the community. And I guess we're kind of, you know, we're 40 years old this year. And one of our sort of pioneering, our vision is to have a pioneering natural health and beauty, changing the world one blue bottle at a time. And I joined 8 years ago, and I really was unaware of the impact that it was going to have on my life. As a student, all those years ago, I used to spend my grant checks in Covent Garden. I just, you know, first check of the month, I'd be like, woo, and get the smells, and I would go in and try the different oils and stuff, and it would just take me somewhere else. So that was kind of the start of my journey. I'm nearly 50 this year. I am 50 this year. So who would have known kind of 40 years ago, you know, where I would be. And it's taken me on, I would say, like a somewhat wondrous journey. So yeah, one of the key things is the effectiveness of the products and the smells. But we'll kind of go through that as we kind of explore the workshop. What I would try and say is get the things out in front of you in the order that we're going to use them. So you should have all received a Bright Start tea. Hopefully you will have that possibly in your favorite cup. I tend to find having a nice cup just helps me go into that kind of zone of this little bit of me time, just concentrating, mindful drinking. In a word, I wrote on the sheet, if you struggle with hypertension, it contains licorice. And if you have hypertension, a lot of licorice can make you a little bit poorly. So please be mindful of that, because it is in some of our teas. The teas are bleach-free bags. I don't know if you know that a lot of tea bags are bleached. And the flavors, I don't know, see what you think. There is nettle in there. I can quite taste the lemon. Rose hips, there's kind of a background base of cardamom and ginger and licorice. So that, for me, if you want to kind of omit coffee first thing in the morning, it's some nice herbs to get into your system to kind of start the cleansing and help you start come out of your fast, you know, your fast of sleep. I mean,
Louise,
yeah,
is it possible for you to mute all the speakers, because it keeps on, there's quite a lot of interference.
Right. Shall I ask you guys to, can you self-mute?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how to do that? So I'll highlight anybody. Sheila, Alison, still not muted. Sue?
No, that's muted.
So you should be able to, there should be a mute button at the bottom left, and that sometimes is different on different screens. That's kind of pretty much got everybody for background sound, hasn't it? Does that fit everybody? I'll ask for hand movements. Great. Okay, there is a chat facility if you want to kind of chat in there. I'll struggle sometimes to kind of look at that, so forgive me. I do have most of your kind of contact details, and I would say get back to me if I've not kind of responded. I am a bit menopausal, my memory's pretty crap, so don't be shy of like going sending me a message and going, oh, you said something about this, what did you mean by that, or whatever. You know, I'm not precious at all. So we've got our tea, and in line out in front of us, we're going to have our Wild Rose Beauty Balm, which is the pink sachet. And then we're going to follow that. That's it, Kate. Marvelous. And we're going to follow that with the Beauty Sleep Concentrate, which is the little one. If you're vegan, I've put in another option, which is the Rehydrating Rose Facial Oil. I think I probably put in 2 sachets, because as for me, and I'm not sure if one is enough to get that real good slide on your face. So when you put in the rose one on, just kind of feel how it feels. And if you feel like you need a bit more, like sometimes our skin can be quite dry or dehydrated. If you feel like you need to slip on the other sachet, slip it on. And then you can have the free kind of movement, shall we say. See some of you ready, Karen? Hair sorted, good lass. So you want to kind of get the hair out of your face, because we're going to include this area as well within the massage. Now, I'm assuming most of you have clean hands. If you don't, you should have your bowl of water with you, where you can just kind of give your hands a little beforehand. I quite like it hand hot, so that you can kind of really feel the warmth when you're taking the mask off. Does that make sense? Okay, so settling in. Feet on the ground. That's really good for kind of, as it were, grounding you. Okay. The Wild Rose Beauty Balm, don't get confused, it doesn't have rose in it. It's Rosehip that is the kind of the key nourisher. And for those who are vegan, our pure Rosehip oil is a fantastic massage oil, but it's really good for kind of healing scar tissue, things like that. I'm an aromatherapist. I do facials, Indian head, Swedish massage. So all those things will be available at the Feel Good Fest if you come and join us. I'm going to kind of explain a little bit what's in this pot first, and then I'm also going to talk about what's in the rose oil as we kind of go on. So we're going to put on, if you're using the wild rose, I would probably say about this much. Let me pin to view. If you don't want to see other people, you can just go on to speaker view. Okay. And if you can mute yourself, that is great. So we're going to use this amount, putting it into our hands. And we're going to just slightly rub our hands together to sort of melt the little bits of grains of sustainable beeswax, which is what makes it not vegan. And they're going to create a tent and smell. So if you've got the rose facial oil, you want to squirt some into your hands, gently kind of rub it in, warm it slightly, and just kind of, we're going to take some slow kind of breaths in. Okay, so we're going to breathe in for 4 and out for 7. Okay, breathing out and then breathing in. 2, 3, 4. Breathing out. 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Drop your shoulders, close your eyes, breathing in. 2, 3, 4. Breathing out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Breathing in. 2, 3, 4. Breathing out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we're gently going to just place it onto our faces. Include your necks in there as well. Okay. With the Rosehip, with the wild rose balm, you sometimes feel a couple of the little grains. They're just beeswax and they will actually kind of melt in. So I could feel a couple of little grains on my neck. So if I've just kind of massaged that in and they've melted. Okay, I'm going to take you through a facial massage and then kind of sort of incorporate some of the smells into it. So basically, we're going to start from our neck. We're going to work up, and it doesn't matter if you follow it completely. If we're doing gentle circles going outwards, if you remember that when you're doing things at home and not dragging your face down, we're onto a bit of a winner as a starting point. Okay, so first of all, we have our lymph glands, which are along here. There's lots and lots of lymph nodes along here. And so what we do as a facial therapist, we would clean our pipes first. So you can either do it this way by bringing it down, or you can do it by your thumbs, just gently, just easing it down, okay? And the reason that we do this is because there's no heart to pump lymph around the system. So the lymph works and moves around the body with the movement of muscles. So this lines here is where we kind of we have a lot of facial muscles basically, and sometimes they fill with lactic acid and we need to detoxify that. So that's the reason that we're cleaning our pipes first, clearing the way for the facial massage to then the lymph, the lactic acid from that to then go and clear out the lymph system that way. Okay, so we're going to work upwards, just stroking our neckwards up, just gentle movements. And it's just getting into that idea of, yeah, you're not dragging your skin down, you're going upwards and outwards. Oils in there, they're in both, actually. They're in the rose facial oil and the wild rose balm, or geranium, which is really balancing for your skin, but also balancing hormonally. And patchouli, which is a great grounder. A lot of our lymph glands work along here. So if you get your kind of little snippers, fingers here, you can kind of take it this way, jawline, all the way up to underneath your ear. And with most things, we're going to go in movements of 3. Nice and slow. If it helps you, close your eyes. And again, we're just going to go from our chin to our ears, nice and slow. Another way of doing it, you could have like a scissor action, like this way. Or if you want to really feel the comfort, you could cup your fingers all around your chin. And we're starting from our chin, kind of working upwards. Using our fingers, we're going to place them at our jaw and we're going to take them upwards, just underneath our zygomatic bone, and then we're going to move them out towards our temples. Once we get to the temples, we're going to release just to the ring finger because it has no strength in it. Gently bring it down and join your fingers together again and take it up slowly to the zygomatic, and then moving out to the temples, just exchanging to your ring finger and just gently down. And then fingers, 4 fingers again, coming up. And then out to the sides, to the temples, gently. Ring finger again. And then this time we're going to come up and we're going to go via the sides of the nose, just a few strokes there. Okay. And then we're going to cup our hands and take it over our forehead. Just releasing that stress. Again, if your shoulders have started to jump up, drop them down. Take a moment to just really breathe it in. And then we're just going to go and rest to the sides of the temples. Some little circles. We're going to take 3 fingers. We're going to take them to the top of our forehead. And we're going to gently go around to the sides of our eyes, again, releasing just to the ring finger. No pressure there. And underneath. And then up to what they call bladder 2 point. And then join again the 3 fingers. So moving slowly to the sides, releasing the ring finger, gently on the cheekbone or the zygomatic, up to bladder 2 point, which is just kind of there, and then back in round to your ring finger, gently around your eye, up, and then we're just going to kind of bring it on to the temples and just hold it there for a second. The masseter, which is a major muscle that kind of goes underneath here, is kind of a really strong muscle in the body, and it takes a lot of JP, you know, because we all the time. So basically, I just want you to just give that some slow circles, gently kind of moving up. And again. And one more time. Sometimes if I'm doing a facial on people, I'll use my thumbs to kind of pull up, and you'll feel a certain point where it pops just underneath the cheekbone, and then you can kind of send that out. And then one more time with that. Okay, and we're just going to do some pressure points. The pressure points relate to the meridian system. And we're just going to do a couple on our face. So finger over finger, just on your chin here. Again, drop your shoulders and close your eyes and just kind of count to 10. Gently pressing. And then we're going to move just slowly, gently to the sides of your mouth. Close your eyes, gently press in for 10. I try to kind of count in that, like, you know, breathe in for 5, breathe out for 5. Then we're going to follow like what would be like sort of a diagonal line. From here, we're going to move just underneath the zygomatic bone here, as if we're following a diagonal line, just underneath there. Again, closing our eyes, breathing in for 5, breathing out. Sides of the eyes. Not on your eye, actual eye, just sides of the socket. Breathing in. Breathing out. And then we're going to take our fingers. Sometimes it's easier to go this way. Sometimes it's easier to use your thumb. We're just going to what they call bladder 2 point here. So in between there, again, close, breathing in for 5, breathing out. And the next ones, we're going to do, we're going to move down in sort of a set of 3. Okay, so sort of 2 or 3 fingers just underneath your eye socket, gently pressing in, moving out towards the ear. Just gentle presses. Then once you've got to sort of the temple, move back like one tiny sort of half a fingernail down, middle of your nose. Gentle pressing in. And then the next one should take you to sort of the crease in the nose here. And then we're just going to repeat, but in a way, it's just more about drainage. So going back to that first position, we're just going to gently move the lymph up to the temple. Next layer down. And then to the corner of the nose. And again there as well. And finger wise, we're just going to do a similar thing, moving up our heads. So if we use sort of 3 fingers, pressure points just above the eyebrows, gently moving out towards the temples, and then coming back to center just half an inch further up. Remember, if your shoulders are kind of coming up, remember to drop them down. And then we're just going to press out, gently gliding. The oils within the rose balm, you've got sustainable rosehip. You've also got hemp. I mean, rosehip has got provitamin A. Hemp oil has omegas 3, 6, and 9. Jojoba wax is probably one of the most recognizable that our skin would recognize as it's very similar to its own sebum. That's a wax. Borage or borage, however you want to say it, is full of essential fatty acids. Our skin needs oils and fats both internally and externally. Our cells, each individual cell needs it. And beeswax provides like a sort of a barrier coating. And within the rosehip, within the rose oil, there's a grapeseed, a hazelnut, and evening primrose, which is really good for menopause. And I think the difference in terms of fragrance, is rose damascena oil, patchouli and geranium in the rose facial oil, whereas in the wild rose balm, it's geranium, patchouli, frankincense, which is very good for grounding, but very good for toning your skin. Rosemary, very good for your circulation. So that packed with the facial massage is a good one for kind of blood flow around your face and neck area. And what's the other one? Palmarosa. So even if you're more on the oily side, Palmarosa is very good for clarifying the skin. So have a little smell again, see if you can kind of detect any of those fragrances. And then I guess getting your water close to hand, we're going to wring out your flannel. Our actual rose pot comes with a muslin cloth. So it's a multi-purpose balm, so you can use it for exfoliation. So we're going to slightly move this from a sort of a facial massage into exfoliation. We're not going to press hard on our face. We're just going to use the hot cloth to do gentle circles all around. And if you want to kind of, again, just stop and kind of breathe and inhale it in, do that as well. Sometimes if I'm in the bath, I'll just lie in the bath and put like the cloth on my face and just keep reheating it and just lie back and just enjoy it. And then we're going to just, you know, like I was saying, do the gentle kind of circles. We should really exfoliate at least once a week. Our skin is the largest organ, so our whole body, not just our face. Even if you don't have like an exfoliator hand, things like used up coffee grounds, shall we say, they're really good for a full body scrub. Salt is fab, unless you've got little cuts, just be mindful of that. And sugar is great as well. And I guess if you're into making things, I have a workshop, an aromatherapy DIY make shop. Not shop. Sorry, I can't do two things at one time. I can't talk and do. I blame it on menopause. It's just, maybe it's just my brain. So I feel actually sometimes I don't need to dry it off, but if it feels a bit damp, maybe you might want to dry it off gently, patting with a towel. And it should feel nice and soft. Our skin takes 28 days to regenerate. So from the base layer, from the kind of the dermis layer, as it goes up, it starts to die. And dead skin cells, you know, the flakes of skin that you see, they kind of accumulate on the face. So that's why it's really good, body, face, to do a scrub once a week. Also, dead skin cells don't reflect the light. So if you're at least doing a kind of a scrub, you tend to glow a bit better. And also, if you've got a layer of dead skin, it makes it harder for something like a facial oil or a serum to penetrate, because those lovely little kind of essential oils that are so tiny in the thinner kind of molecular structures of serums and oils, they'll permeate deeper into the dermis layer, which is where they'll kind of plump up the cells and make your skin look a bit more sort of bouncy, a bit more kind of, you know, youthful, shall we say. The rose facial oil, although I've said kind of take it off, it's just kind of in a way preparing it for the next thing, the Beauty Sleep Concentrate, which is vegan. You could leave that rose facial oil on if you wanted to, and just have like that facial massage and then just let it go. But just for the purposes of the massage, I had wanted to try and send you this thing called Frankincense Melt, but we were out of samples of that. But if you fancy doing one of these kind of workshops at home, I send all the samples out to people, and as the host, there's loads of lovely rewards. So it's a highly beneficial way of getting a workshop with friends together free, and the host gets freebies. Those are the freebies at the minute. You can pick 2 of those, and then there's free shopping. It's probably the most generous host rewards package I've ever seen. And knowing, I only started Neil's Yard because I went to a party and thought, oh my God, I didn't know they did this. I'll have a party. Of course I'll have a party. I'll have another party. And the girl couldn't do it. And I said, well, I need somebody else. I was on the phone to the head office going, well, I've booked my date and I've got a different set of people. And the lady on the phone said, well, do you know, you'd get loads of stuff if you joined, and there's no pressure. You don't have to have like, you don't have to do parties if you don't want to. There's no minimum orders. You're not tied to selling. and that was in the kit. So I kind of went, oh, really? And I get 25% discount off everything that I'd like, you know, sell if I sell it to friends and family. So you can be a friends and family consultant and join, and you get all of that for £60. That's £40 on its own. So that for me was a bit of a no-brainer. And I went, oh, right, okay. And that was 8 years ago. And then I was doing kind of filmmaking. I had a daughter, she was 3 at the time. And I just wanted something as a little bit of me time away from like kids. Little did I know it would take me on a kind of a journey of building a sustainable house, becoming a therapist, and also Neil's Yard support, one of the projects that I do as an arts facilitator, working in homes with people who are living with dementia. And if you want any more information on that, I can send you a little film that I've made about how they've kind of supported us in the things that we do. So I tend to find one of the biggest problems if I'm doing an event that people will come up to me with is sleep. I'm really struggling with sleep. And that could be, you know, that they're hormonal, menopausal. It could be a variety of reasons, shall we say. Too stressed, waking up in the middle of the night, possibly drinking too much alcohol. That doesn't have a really good effect on your sleep patterns, shall we say. Or you've just got young kids and you're just not getting enough of it, basically. I've got to be really careful what I say. Anyway, so this is Beauty Sleep Concentrate. So you should have a little sachet with you, okay? So it comes in a sort of a pump. So I would just kind of say maybe 1 or 2 pumps is more than enough. It's a serum. And although it's sleep, it's you could use it in the morning as well. I defy anybody not to like this. The sleep range is phenomenal, the smell. So another opportunity to make a little tent, rub it into your hands and breathe it in. And then, probably because I'm a bit greedy, I put extra bit around my nose when I'm putting it on, around there. But actually, if you've been a smoker in your life, you know, as you grow older, you get those little wrinkles around there. So a little bit extra there, a little bit there. You know all my secrets now. And then gently all around your face. Don't forget your neck. You've got fragrance of ylang ylang, mandarin, and what they call Tarzetta narcissus, which is the extract of the bulb, which kind of makes the bulb dormant. So it's what sends it to sleep. There's a lot of green science in Neil's Yard products. We've got a tripeptide in there. It's packed with sodium hyaluronate, so it gives you a 12-hour hydration. So even if you're like not looking like you're not feeling like you've had a good 12-hour sleep, it can help you look a little bit better and more hydrated. And then once it's kind of gently sort of patted in, I'm just going to ask you to do what they call a little bit of taponnement. So basically it's kind of like little rain patters. Close your eyes on all over your face. And gently just check if that's kind of gone in. Just gentle kind of presses to see if it's gone in everywhere. I try and not put products really close to my eyes unless it's a really thin serum or a specific eye treatment, just purely because this is about 0.5 millimeters thick, whereas this is about like 1.5. So if you imagine this is like denim and this is like silk, if you're putting products near your eyes, you need to just gently with the ring finger, just kind of dab it around the orbital bone, and it will naturally suck to where it needs to go to. If you think like a damp sponge on a puddle, it will suck in the water. Whereas if it was completely dry, it wouldn't. So it's just, we're just slightly kind of dampening that and letting that suck up what it needs. And then just go back to kind of closing your eyes and having another kind of little smell of it. If you're using the wild rose balm, once that's all kind of soaked in, there are other areas that you can use it. So like it's got like a bit of a rosy glow to it, so you can use it to sort of highlight your cheeks. That sachet that you've got probably should last a couple of applications. It's fantastic for dry lips. So you can put a bit extra on there for your lips. So I'm just going to kind of dab it a little bit here. And I apologize for the vegans. What I would say, if you are vegan, when the melt samples come back out, message me, remind me, and I'll send you one. Or if you like, I can do you a whole frankincense kind of facial ritual, because we've got a really interesting essence that's just come out. Lips. And fantastic it is for taming your eyebrows. Really good for cracked heels. And one other thing, if you struggle, as our hands are in and out of things all the time at the minute, on your cuticles, pure rosehip oil is really beneficial if you don't have the wild rose balm. Or argan oil is fantastic for skin and nails as well. So that gives you a little bit of a kind of, you know, in the morning or in the evening, and you want to just kind of shut the world out for a bit, and just grabbing yourself a little bit of me time and doing that treatment, shall we say. When I recorded that, I'd not recorded it properly, so I think I've got one lady at the front who's doing the massage. I couldn't, technology. Anyway, that's as it is. I'll probably have to do a different one and upload that instead. But there are some things that I kind of wanted to point out to you. You struggle with sleep. The Beauty Sleep range, we do it in a foaming bath, a really thick body butter, a body lotion, if you don't like thick butters. We also have like supplements. So there's a sleep supplement in there. If you really struggle sleep-wise, I would say the nighttime tea an hour before bed. And if you really, really struggle, then I'd kind of double up and put 2 bags in. I'd get myself some pillow mist, spritz that on my pillow, and I would use maybe one of our roller balls. And if you're interested in aromatherapy, I'm doing a talk at 1, but they work on your, like say, your pulse points. So basically where your veins are kind of close to the surface, the essential oils can get in quicker to the bloodstream that way. So by my bedside, I have a few different things. If I wake up, sometimes I wake up at like 3 o'clock in the morning, my head's like, you know, it's probably because I don't have a diary next to me bed where I can dump a load of crap down before I go to bed. That's a good way of releasing stuff. As an aromatherapist, I also make like inhaler sticks. So I'll have like certain ones, like just to kind of, as much as I can get in, because that's the quickest way into the brain, into the limbic system. So fragrance, diffusers are really good, having on in your bedroom, like maybe an hour before. And maybe those kind of things like settling down, getting yourself away from bright lights, especially the blue light in computer screens. 3 hours detox from that of an evening will help you sleep better. Foods rich in melatonin, like banana, oats, there are other good things that will help your stomach regenerate, I guess, without kind of waking up a little bit if you're hungry. That's why sometimes people wake up, but you know. What other things did I want to say to you? Oh, a little bit about Neil's Yard. Okay, it's only 2 minutes of your life that you won't get back, but you know, in terms of their ethics, there's for me, there is pretty much none can kind of match it in a way. And I have looked at kind of other things that people do, but they're not organic, they're not sustainable. And in terms of ethics, the things that I've learned over the years, still I find it difficult for anybody to kind of beat them. And because they support the project that I do with people called We Engage, people who are living with dementia, I can take out diffusers, oils like Melissa, which is really expensive, and hand creams, and they've given me those kind of oils to work with people. So people who are in lockdown situation, in terms of lockdown as an EMI kind of, you know, if you're living with dementia and you can't leave the building or leave that floor even, we bring in a multi-sensory approach. So it smells, tastes, sounds, and we create things within the iPad, things that they can do in that moment and be happy with what they've achieved. Not about reminiscence, not about bringing them back to what they were. It's about being in the moment and enjoying that time. And so Neil's Yard support that project. So Peter, who heads up, you know, it's a family business. I went to him with a 12-page project and said, I'm already doing this. I really think you should be involved in it. And Susan Curtis, who's also like one of the founders, she rang me up the next day and went, do you want everything on your list? Which was probably about 2.5 grand's worth of stuff. And I went, I would love that. And then I got a massive delivery. So for me, they're about people helping people. And they're about, in a way, they're about changing the world in terms of trying to go as toxin free as you can. So that be make one change your deodorant, go from something that's not an antiperspirant to something, you know, that's something that's just that it deodorizes, is aluminium free. That's one small change, brilliant, but there's a whole load of changes that you can kind of make. And that for me, in terms of joining Neil's Yard, I didn't know that at the beginning. So it has impacted my life quite dramatically in the food that I now grow, and the people that I've met along the way. Let's not forget that. So in terms of ethics, I could talk, you know, yada, yada, yada about ethics. But I just kind of wanted to show you something in terms of what the company, I guess, have created, just so you get a bit of background of who we are, why we do what we do.
Our story starts in 1981 when our founder and natural health advocate, Romy Fraser, opened the doors to our first store in a quiet corner of Covent Garden. Driven by the belief that inner health and outer beauty should be in perfect balance, she began hand-making skincare products, remedies and tinctures, and together with her small team, she created a modern apothecary, with customers coming to rely on us to help and advise them with their health concerns. Today, the Kindersley family, organic advocates and owners of Neil's Yard Remedies, continue to champion our founding principles. And we are now a global leader with a growing presence across 4 continents. We want to help people to live happier, healthier lives and protect our beautiful planet. From becoming the UK's first certified organic health and beauty brand to helping ban plastic microbeads, Neil's Yard Remedies is truly a pioneering force for the better. Using ethically sourced herbs, botanicals and essential oils, our experts handcraft potent blends of love, science and nature. We use the highest possible percentage of organic ingredients as they are kinder to the earth and kinder to you. Our iconic blue bottles not only protect our products from UV light, but they also mean we can create purer products with fewer preservatives. And we think they look great too. It's not just our ingredients we handpick, we're just as fussy about our people. Everyone who works with us shares our passion for natural beauty and inner health, and are committed to providing the best experience for our customers every day. Just a few hours from our roots in Covent Garden, nestled in the Dorset countryside, Peace Marsh, our Eco HQ, is a haven of sustainability and home to many of our teams, as well as our manufacturing facilities, where our products are carefully made in small batches to our exacting standards. You'll also find our team of gardeners tending to the acres of beautiful grounds, where we grow some of the herbs used in our best-selling ranges. We're passionate about our planet, and we're proud to support many good causes, from our work with the Soil Association and the World Land Trust to our Bee Lovely campaign, which aims to support 50 million bees by 2020. We do all of these things so you can feel good and look good naturally.
So that gives you a bit of sort of background to the company, I guess, and why we do what we do. And I think, you know, when I joined, there was always kind of 3 things that were kind of mentioned to me. So you can enjoy our products, knowing that all the way down the line, you're supporting women across the world, because it's generally the women who work within the Neal's Yard business, from the pickers right up to kind of us as consultants who take it out into the community. I had a sleep party last night, and one of the ladies, she's the host, she'd said to me, she actually works for CAMS, and she said, all my free, like, because you get free products, all my freebies I want to go to CAMS, so for us in the office. And I was like, oh, that's lovely, because most people have it for themselves. And I just thought, oh, how lovely is that? How could I pass that or pay that forward? And so I thought, with this workshop, if you like any of the products that we've used, I could send you Vicky's kind of party link in a way. And if you wanted to buy anything, you get free delivery with orders over £40. Funnily enough, that is £40. And the beauty sleep is 35. And those the freebies that would come from that, we will then kind of put out to CAMS, basically. So I thought, if you want any of those products, like this weekend, I'll send everybody the link afterwards. Similarly, if you want to join, like when I joined, I was really unaware of all the things that would kind of happen in my life. Neal's Yard know that a lot of people will join just as a friends and family consultant. They may never do anything with it. They may just join purely for the discount, because you know, it's 25% to 40% is a great discount. And yeah, what can I say? The other, this is me, menopause, brain fog. Yeah, so you could join, you could get all of that. Or that was what I was going to say. Neal's Yard kind of hope, well, we know this is kind of what happens because I'm an example of it. People will love it so much that they can't help kind of spreading the word. And that kind of comes from the heart. And those are the people that Neal's want, really kind of sort of promoting their business in a way. And it's my business as well. So I've not been able to get my hands on people physically during lockdown, and Neal's Yard has worked all the way through that. They've sent out parcels to hospitals for the staff, for their hands. And I've really appreciated that they've been there all the way through lockdown to help me build my sustainable house. So I wouldn't have known 8 years ago where I am now. And it may just be that you just want to kind of, you know, have a little bit for yourself. That's lovely. That's absolutely fine. So I'll also send a link if you want to join with me. It's also on the sheet that I've put with you, that I sent out with your stuff. Yeah, the Feel Good wanted me to kind of say to you, next week their early bird kind of discount comes out for the July festival. If you want to kind of have 2 or 3 days away from it all and have lots of free treatments, have a look at that when it comes out. I've got an aromatherapy DIY starting in 2 weeks. If that's of interest, let me know. And on 19th of March is World Sleep Day. I'm personally hosting, so if you want to join a workshop that I'm doing and try more than say 2 products, like probably about 5 or 6, like feet, you know, hands, kind of things like that, let me know and I'll send some stuff out to you. I think that's probably most of the things that I was going to say to you. Oh, it's Mother's Day coming up for any of you who have mothers, if you're lucky enough to still have your mother in your life. There is some lovely discounts, like we've got 30% off some lovely bundles. So again, I'll send you just a little bit of a link after this to say thank you, and different ways that you can kind of link in with me or the festival should you want to. And at 5 to 12, I'll say you can unmute yourselves if you like, and if you want to ask any questions, shoot.
Louise, what do we do with the eye gel? Do I put it on now or?
Some of them I had a couple of extra little samples, so I just put bits and bobs what I could in what I had. So the eye gel is purely just for you. If you've got one, if you were lucky enough, Anne, if you were lucky enough to get one, sorry, so I put a few little bits and bobs in a couple of things. Because it's better to get it out. Like, so some people might have a sample of the rose oil who aren't vegan. And that's why I would say to the people who are vegan, I'm sorry I couldn't get the melt out to you. I wanted you to have that experience of it's a triple textured melt. So it goes on as a gel, it changes into an oil, and then it like acts like a cleansing milk, and it's really softening for the skin. So our frankincense, all of our frankincense intense range, let's say if you're 30 plus and you're interested in fine lines and wrinkles or deeper, the frankincense is for all skin types. That completely like was not all the answer that you wanted there, but I got a bit extra out, didn't I?
So what happens if you decide to join and pay the £60 offer? You're saying you sell to friends and family. What happens if they're really not that interested after you've given out the samples?
Well, that depends what you want to do. If you want to be a friends and family consultant, when I first joined, I was like, in my head, I just wanted time away from my kids.
Yeah.
And just a little bit of nice stuff to play with. And I knew the stuff was gorgeous because I'd known it for years. Yeah. So for me, I had my first workshop with some of my friends. I probably drank too much red wine, to be fair. And I kind of did a facial on somebody and kind of went, I'm not quite sure what I'm doing here, but this is the one that I love, and that's why I probably joined, because that was in the kit. And then from there, I thought, do you know what? For me personally, I don't want to push on to my friends and family, but I still love the stuff. So it's finding a route beyond your friends and family if you want to, like, you know, say be a fully fledged kind of consultant. So for me, it was kind of right. Okay, I started doing a few events, or little, like, say, Mother's Day coffee mornings.
So you bought the kit and you basically did it on yourself and then passed on once you'd used your stuff. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, so you get samples.
Yeah, in this kit it's saying what you get in it. So is it mainly the little samples that you've sent out to us today that we could then send to our friends and get it done that way?
In the kit you get all of this full size.
Yeah.
In reality, if we could be with people in garden parties and things like that, then you would use the spatula and go around and give people a little try of things. Or
yes, from the big kit.
Yeah, but we can also buy these. Like, say I can buy 20 of these for like £2 something, or I think it's just gone up. And I use these as a material tool to promote my business.
It says you get a pack of sample sachets though.
You do.
So the like them sort of thing that we've used today.
I think the frankincense, to be fair, I think they're the frankincense lift cream. So they're probably not these ones. and what normally is coming out at the minute is the frankincense as a share.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
But but you can order them anyway, so it wouldn't make no, because you'd want samples of that if that comes in your pot with you not being able to see anybody at the minute, wouldn't you?
Yeah, and we also, what we do is we do like little mini sample pots. So if I was doing like a proper kind of like hosting, you know, like say if you were hosting a workshop, Linda, I would send out a pack of stuff that you could then disseminate, or you would give me the addresses to disseminate to your participants. And it might include like a little sample pot. But it's just because I have quite a few things to send out, I was trying to kind of save on postage, which is why I send the big bulky kind of things out. So you can send them out. I can send 5 of them out in different, so you can have an eye, a cleanser, that.
And then we pay you for sending that out?
No, I personally will take that because that's what we do.
So what I'm saying is, if I was to take it further, then I'd be the one that orders the samples and send them out, wouldn't I?
Yeah,
that's what I was meaning.
And I would say probably, Linda,
menopausal
nightmare. Start small though. I would do it with kind of, you know, in my local area. You know,
that's what I mean. But because we're in lockdown, I'm thinking I've got my cousins that are not far away, so we could actually do something on Zoom or something like similar to what you've done today, couldn't I?
Yeah. And similarly, there was a lady from Kent joined us last night because Vicky, her friend, was in Kent. So because we've got this party link, I can send her the link to the party, and then it'll get sent. If it's over £40, it gets sent free. If not, you pay the postage. Sorry for people are going. I know it's time. It's over 12 o'clock, so I don't mind if you go. But
no, it's all right.
If you've got any questions, just fire them my way. If anybody wants to dive off. So does that make sense, Linda? I mean, I would say if you want to have a chat with me, let's do that. I've got an aromatherapy thing at 1 o'clock, and if you want to have a chat this afternoon, or if any of you guys want to kind of message me, or you indeed want to host, let me know. It can be a nice side gig to what you're doing already, and there's no pressure, so there's no minimum monthly targets.
That's what I mean. I didn't want to buy a kit if you've got to sort of like got to sell so much, blah de blah de blah, because sometimes it doesn't always work out that way, does it?
No, it doesn't, and I think that's why I think Neil's Yard want people who will can't help themselves. So I probably am one of them. I can't help myself because I love the stuff, and I love what they stand for.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that they're family run, and you know, Peter is so well, he'll sit and he'll talk about all these things that what they're doing with glyphosate and stuff, and then he'll say F off in the same sentence, and he's very posh, and I quite like him. I like him for that. Do you know what I mean? And the family are, you know, it's family run. It's an independent business, so, and it's British, and it's organic. Yeah. So those are my kind of like, oh yeah, okay. And yeah, not everything's vegan, but we've never professed to be a vegan range. We're vegetarian.
No.
And we have a massive structure in terms of protecting bees. You know, we've got a whole program about that. It's like frankincense. We've got a whole program on making frankincense sustainable. So it's for us.
So if you were to buy the kit and join the company, they'd give you help. And do they do things like you've done today and go through stuff, new things, and tell you what's in it so you can pass that on? Or do you get leaflets with stuff in, you know, that tell you about the products? I mean,
the promotional, all the marketing material is beautiful, and that's all pre-made for you to use. If you wanted to join, you can join with me, and I will be classed as your mentor. So I would guide you through, but there is also tons of material that you can, loads of videos that you can teach yourself. Like
that's what I was meant. Yeah. Brilliant.
It's meant to be like a matched support. So me as your kind of mentor, I'll match you every step of the way. If you want to go out and be out and doing Neil's Yard, kind of, you know, it's a big business for you. it's that I'm there for you, but I'm not going to be similarly knocking every week and going, how are you doing? You know, have you done a party this week? I haven't got time for that. And that's, you know, it's not about that.
No.
If I see that you kind of, you're up for it in our kind of initial sort of chats, I'll support you all the way. But if you're not, I'm not going to be banging on your door.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Yeah.
And similarly, some people just join because they like the kit and they like the discount, and there's nothing wrong with that. That was me.
Well, it's still selling, isn't it? It's still sales if you're buying it yourself, I suppose. Yeah, but I'll go to the Feel Good Festival as well. I'll meet up with friends, so that'll be. I'll see you there anyway.
So hopefully it'll be July.
Yeah, is it July the 8th or something? 9th? I think it's the 9th.
I have to get my diary. I just know it's in July.
Oh,
I know it's
yeah,
in July.
I think it's the 9th. I wrote it down yesterday. I really hope it goes ahead.
And they've got a backup date in September, if not.
Oh, have they?
Yeah.
Blue.
Pardon?
Where is it? I think I missed that at the beginning, sorry.
It's just outside Carlisle.
All right, okay.
So it's about an hour and a half
It's
drive.
a really good weekend. It's really nice.
I'm afraid.
I think you'd like it.
I've been before. It was lovely.
And it's so, again, the guys, the lady who runs, like, who owns it, they sell these beautiful, I think they're David Austin roses, and the building is like run down in a way. It's like it has a roof, but these gorgeous roses kind of adorn the outsides of it. And the woman who lives it, she's part of this quite eccentric and rich family, I think, but she lives in the tower. And she's not what you'd expect at all. So she came in for a massage for me, and she was like, just go. And she kind of went like that. I was like, wow, and she owns the gaff. Wow. She was lovely, you know.
It was all lovely. It was a really good weekend. Really good weekend.
So if you want a kind of a weekend of like, nice time.
Yeah, brilliant.
Great. Well, I'll let you all go because we've run over slightly. But
thank you very much.
Interested, message me and I'll bring you in personally, and then that way I won't lose you.
Yeah, because you've got to order it by the 28th, so yeah. Is that
tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night, yeah.
By midnight, or it goes back to 95.
Okie dokie. I'll speak to you in a bit.
All right.
Take care. Thank you very much for this morning. Bye.
Pleasure.
Bye.
Bye. Take care all.
Sue, do you
Bye, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
I was going to say, Sue, did you recognise Christian? Because I think you're in the same village.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I've just lost your screen. Yes, she's just round the corner.
Oh. Congratulations on being a gran.
Thanks. I was trying to write a message, but Laura will go mad. She'll say, Mother, you and your technology. Anyway, it's been really good. I've really enjoyed it. Thanks.